Hi, everybody. I'm Miriam. I'm new.
All right, that was
Hey,
going to be my question. Do we have anybody that's new here tonight?
I beat you to it.
Are you from the Milwaukee area?
Yes.
Have you been an active photographer forever?
Well, I'm more of a hobbyist. I take pictures on vacations.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Well, if you're new to the club, we do have dues to be paid.
I paid them.
Well,
I already paid them.
You're in good standing then. We were going to boot you
real
off.
Good standing.
Goodbye.
So tell us about what type of equipment are you shooting with? Just out of curiosity.
Kind of like the picture here on the. I mean, I can show you my camera. It's nothing fancy. It's just I can get it real quick.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're waiting there, I just want to apologize for last month. I had to drop off halfway through the meeting. I had some major computer problems. Jeff has patched me back together until I get my new unit hopefully this week. But tonight, we have a fairly busy schedule. I just want to remind everyone that anything and everything we talk about tonight is probably going to be within the newsletter. That's probably one of the best sources in order to keep track of things that are going on. One of the big issues that has come up this past week or month has been Facebook. Whether or not that is a full private site for the club members only. Ian, can you address that? Ian?
Yeah, it's restricted to whoever we let in. So the admins have the ability to basically to join it. You have to click on the group and you have to click, you basically have to ask to join. And then the admins of the group have the ability to let people in or not. So the intent is it's for our club. Yes.
So basically, nothing we do on that Facebook site goes anywhere else. Is that correct?
Right. Outside of, somebody screenshotting or something, like anything else. But yeah, it's not public. It's not, you can't Google for one of our posts and it'll show up. None of that.
So if I, as an example, wanted to post the little videos that I put together for the President's Challenge or what Jane is putting together for the show tonight, that could be posted to the Facebook site?
Barring the copyright restrictions, depending on if you use in your slideshow music, you're going to run into the same type of things that you run into if you try to upload a video to YouTube that has copyright music or something.
But this wouldn't go to YouTube because it would be within that Facebook.
But what I'm saying is Facebook will still scan it to make sure that it doesn't have copyright material in it.
All right.
I'm just warning you ahead of time if you try to upload a lot of people put music in their slideshows, and if it's not royalty free, you'll run into that problem.
But if I use free music, it's not a problem at all.
That's not a problem at all. Nope. And it'll just be it's the only people who can see it are the people in the group.
All right. Now we've had some active discussions on that Facebook site, and I think Jeff Ewing had a question about putting together, when it's show and tell time. Jeff, you want to jump in and make a comment about that and raise your question with this group?
Well, I guess it just seems to me that everyone who, seems to have a different way of doing their screenshotting procedure. And it just seems some people struggle with it, some don't. I'm just wondering if there's a way that we can all do the same thing and get the same results in just a couple clicks. Like I have never shared screen ever, and I'm up in February, and like I said, it's going to be a crapshoot for me to get it.
All right.
I just looking for, a nice, easy way for, and everybody does the same thing and off we go.
Anybody have any ideas here?
Well, there's two options. You can send the files to me, Jeff, and I can show them. We did that for a while. It is not hard to screen share, except for the first time, because depending on the computer you're on and the permissions you have to set, you could contact me, ahead of time, and we could make sure your computer works and I can show you how to do it. It's not hard. It's a matter of hitting that green button that says share screen
Right.
and clicking on a couple of settings, and it then shows your main screen on your computer. And it also then depends on how many monitors you have. One or two or three.
Well,
Some of us have
one.
multiple monitors, which makes it
If
crazy.
you only have one, it's pretty easy. It's when, yeah,
Yeah, when you have one, it's easy. If you have
I'm looking at
multiple, it gets a little
4.
tricky.
Right.
Jeff, suggestion.
I'm looking at 5, so
Yeah, that's when it gets tricky.
Hey, Jeff, and Joe,
Yeah.
I think you could go on and you could practice. So we all have Zoom accounts.
Uh-huh.
You can go on and you can create a meeting just with yourself. And I think I tried this a long time ago, and I think you could try to share a screen just with you yourself, or get your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. Get just a simple meeting and practice ahead of time.
That's an idea.
All right.
sure.
That's
I do that with new equipment all the time. First time I ran my laptop, for example.
Because I certainly would
idea.
like to.
Yeah, practice
certainly like to
practice
know
on
how
your
to
own
do it.
before the club. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's give that a whirl. And Jeff, if you need assistance, I'll be glad to work with you as well before we get to the, what is it, the February meeting or January? February, I
February.
think, for you, isn't it? Okay.
All right.
Can I
Now,
make,
who-
Steve, did you have
can I
a
make one
question?
comment?
All right.
This is Steve Weingarth. Can I make a comment?
Yeah,
I think there's like two aspects to this. One is how do you actually share? And then what program or software are you using to share your files? Because I've seen meetings where people share pictures and they're not full screen, so you really can't appreciate their whole picture because they're showing previews or thumbnails or something. And so I don't know if there's a technique, like in the case of Windows, I think the Photos app is a real simple application to share. It does full screen very nicely. You don't have to have Lightroom or some other fancy piece of software. It's something you get for free. And I imagine the Mac applications or the Mac environment has the same thing. But if we could have, that's one other thing I've seen where people just don't get their pictures full screen, so you really don't get to appreciate them as much as you should.
So there's more to it than just sharing what you're
Right,
saying.
yeah, it's like once you can share, what is it you actually want to share? What application should you use so that people
Maybe
can
as we
really see
think
the
about
picture?
that, maybe we can come back next month and come back with a firm recommendation. If you have a Mac or a Windows product, and maybe
Good idea.
somebody then can do a little quick sharing and show us how
Good
that
idea.
program works.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
program works the best?
Yeah, let's proceed with that as we move on.
Can I just ask one quick question? Jeff,
Sure.
I think you did write something. You do use Lightroom, correct?
Yes.
I use Lightroom because it's the easiest way to get full screen.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people use the Windows thing. Mac doesn't have as nice of a setup for doing it. Gotta admit, the preview app is sort of funky. A lot of times what I recommend is Keynote or PowerPoint. That works real nice. So let me see what I can work up as a video that people could watch to see different ways to share. And Jeff, if you want to just contact me, we can do a practice session. I can make sure you're all set up for however way you'd like to do it. And in the meantime, we'll come up with some other ways for people to do it.
Does anybody create a Lightroom slideshow and then run that?
I do.
Because I just created a slideshow today. Is that
Okay.
an easy way to do it? I mean, it
Yeah.
comes full screen real nice, you know?
Yeah,
The
that
only
works.
the only thing I'll make a comment about slideshows is sometimes if you get crazy with the transitions over Zoom, the transitions don't come across very well. So I would say just keep it simple on
I
that
see.
stuff. Sometimes people like to do really abstract ones, and that motion doesn't come across
No,
well.
I don't
So
like that either.
That's all.
Okay.
Something to keep in
Yeah.
mind. That's all.
Because it all depends on everybody's internet speed for how
Yeah.
smooth. But the screen sharing does get you the highest quality output right now without us doing some other tricks that I'm going to be working on in the near future. But
All right.
So tonight's slideshow will probably be wild because there's lots of transitions.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So tell me how not to do a slideshow.
yeah. That'll be the next thing.
Well, listen, who was that lady I was talking to a minute ago? Was it Marion?
Yeah, that was Miriam. She's
And
gone
she's
right
there?
now. Oh,
There
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 she
she
is.
is. She's
Sorry, I
back.
had to let my dog out.
All right. Well, I think I was asking about equipment and you were going to show us something. What do you got?
It's a Sony. I don't know.
So you went to a Sony. Most of us are Canon or Nikon, but you're more than welcome.
There's a
Oh, I
few
think-
few of my
Oh,
Sony
okay.
users in here nowadays.
Yeah, there's Sony transferring over.
Who's using Sony right now? There's a bunch of us, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll add you to the class then.
Yeah, well,
Well, welcome
just a
aboard,
minute. Let
Miriam.
me start removing all the Sony people. Hang on.
Well, you're welcome to be with us, and we hope to see some pictures coming down the pike. All right. A couple of other announcements. The community spotlight, that's going to be the topic for the end of the year. If you haven't been working on that, it's never too late to get started and going to some of our neighboring villages and towns and seeing what we can do to spotlight some of those. And you can use your own interpretation of that and do whatever you think community spotlight means. And we'll go from there. The other big thing coming up here in the near future is our field trip, which is December the 11th. I think Jesse and Jane are going to lead that. Either one of you want to address that for a few minutes?
And Patty, 6 o'clock at the Cedarburg Community Center, downtown Cedarburg. Parking is, right behind that community center. I know a map was attached to the newsletter.
Yep.
So, and most of you probably have been to downtown Cedarburg. Decorations are up and maybe we'll have a little snow.
Well, bring it on. Some of us will make it and some of us won't.
And
right.
let's hope it's not quite as cold as it is today.
Oh, you got that right.
Yeah, pretty cold out there today.
That leads us into tips and hints. Let's do the PSA thing first before we get to that. Jeff, you think we're ready to do the PSA thing? And then we'll move into the rest of the program after that. We need to get this out of the way.
Sure. Does everybody have a score sheet? Everybody got the email. That's good. Okay, so let me just make sure we got everything set. Did anybody not? It looked like everybody showed me score sheets. So anybody that didn't, I did put it in the chat if you did need to do it. If you can email it to me electronically when we're done, that would be the best. Although you can mail me a hard copy if you want. I prefer electronic, but I'll take hard copy as well. A couple things before we get started. The scoring is slightly different than what we're used to. Let's see here. So some of the stuff that you have to, what we have, you can see on the bottom of the sheet. Fives, you got to give a minimum of 4, a maximum of 6. So we're not scoring this like we would normally score images. It is a 2 through 5, but they have more specific criteria. So basically your 4 to 6 favorite images, the best ones that you think are in this group, and there's 91 images, you give 5s to. When it comes to the 4s, you give 30 or more 4s. When it comes to 3s, you want to give 40 or more 3s. When it comes to 2s, you want to give between 6 and 11 2s. So 2s don't necessarily mean they're a horrible image, a bad looking image. They're just not your favorite image. So this is more of picking your favorite images out of a group of 91 images. So try not to think of these scores like we normally would, but we need to follow this set of guidelines because if we don't, what she ends up doing is she disqualifies the sheet and they don't get counted. So we want all our scores to count. Now, we do not judge our own images. So you will see on 3, 16, 29, 42, 55, 68, and 81 are all crossed out. Those are our images. So what we'll do tonight is we'll go through all the images once so that you can look at it and make some notes. We'll go through it a second time and you can then really start scoring them. And then we'll go through it a third time after we've given you some time to, finalize your score sheet or get it pretty close. We'll go through it the last time so that you can, make sure you got the scores that you want. So this shouldn't take too long, but there are 91 images. So
Jeff, real quick, can you go
Yeah.
over the 5s would be minimum 4 to 6. 4s are
Right.
30 or more. 3 is
Yep.
40 or more. And 2 is 6 to 11. Not necessarily bad, but not your favorites. Okay,
Right.
because there wasn't any of that information on my sheet, so I didn't.
It should be at the bottom of your sheet.
I'm in Missouri and things probably got lost on my way
Okay,
down here.
okay.
Sorry.
So let me see here, what am I at? So that I just don't have them up right away. Okay. This takes me a little longer because I have to make sure I get the right screen. Okay, so everybody should be seeing a motorcyclist in snow. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta just move a few more things around. Let's see, looks like everybody else is there. All right, so this is the first image, image number 1. 2. 3 is our image. Number 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is our image, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 is our image, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 is our image, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 55 was our image, just so everyone knows. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, which is our image, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. 81 is our image, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91.
Hey, Jeff, I got a question.
Sure.
When you call out these numbers, are you waiting for the image to show up first and then you call out the numbers?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go slower. Was I too fast on it? Some of
Well,
it?
I just want to make sure that I wasn't like you were calling out the number, then the image pops up, or I just couldn't figure out which.
If also, if you look in the upper left-hand corner,
Okay,
the number is right there
okay.
for that image. I was just going to mention that so that everybody can see that the
Okay, that's fine, because when you put up the first image, which was the motorcycle in the snow, you had a different title. And
yeah,
so
that
your background
didn't
or
have
something.
anything to do with this, so
Yeah,
it was
okay.
just a blank image I had. But yeah, right up here will be the number of the image so that everybody can confirm that as well.
All right, thanks.
So let's start with this image, image number 1. we'll start scoring this time through. So that's 1, 2, 3 is our image. Number 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. This one's ours, 16. Number 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29 is our image. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42 is our image. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55 is our image. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68 is our image. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81 is our image. 82. 83. 84. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Now I'll give everybody a couple minutes here to take a look and sort of check your numbers, and then we can go through them one last time. So is everybody ready for me to go through one more time?
I believe so.
Okay. So this is image number 1. Two. Number 3 is our image. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is our image, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 is our image, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, our image, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55 is our image, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68 is our image, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. 81 is our image, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91.
Looks like we're all wrapped up.
Hopefully everybody got it. You can send me the sheets to my email. You can find that in the newsletter, or you can just, reply to the one that I sent you.
All right. Anybody have any questions? I guess not.
All right, great.
Well, let's move
Jeff, a
on.
question, please.
Okay, go ahead.
The thing we're going to send you, should it be a picture or should it be in like a Word document that you could cut and paste from to make it easier for you?
Well, if you can send it back as the Excel document, that would be the easiest. If you want to scan the sheet and send it back, that works as well. Actually, the person that's tabulating it is going to probably just read it off, and she may actually print all of it. I am going to send it to her electronically because I just don't want to mail it out, and I don't want to print all the ones that I get as digital. So any way works because I don't have to tabulate it, and the gal is going to probably just tabulate it herself.
I was just going to take a picture of it and then
Yeah.
email it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Not a problem.
Well, we're talking about PSA and WACO. Let's ask somebody to comment on the fact that our club won so many awards with WACO. I mean, the numbers are outstanding. You want to comment on that, Jeff, or someone?
Well, it's great to see everybody that's been entering, and yeah, our club does really well. We have a really good, fine set of photographers here. So,
Do you know if the other clubs in WACO have as many or as few participants as we do?
Ken can probably answer that better than I can.
I could
'Cause
answer
he does
it
the
if
awards.
I had the sheet handy here, but I don't have it handy. But no, there's other clubs that do pretty well, but I think we did exceptionally well. And I did want to mention that Patty had best of show and some medals and did a fantastic job. And I believe Ian and Jane, I think, had some medals and a lot of HMs. And I'm just shooting from the hip here since I don't. It's in our newsletter though. The exact our results are in the newsletter, and I don't want to not mention somebody that did well. So check the newsletter, and you can see the results there. But we did do good as a club, and there's some other really good clubs out there too. But I think we've got more that may have more that did better than the other clubs.
Jeff, wasn't the top prize for best in show a new Nikon Z9?
No, but the Patty gets to judge the next competition, which should be interesting for her.
Sure, without a doubt, without a doubt.
I wish it was a Z9. I wish WACO had that kind of money.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn that down.
Well, speaking of Patty, she's our tips and hits person tonight. Why don't we get her to do her presentation on how to photograph Christmas lights? Patty, it's all yours.
All right.
Yeah, you win the top.
Let's see if I can screw up the screen share.
All right.
All right, let's see. All right, so can you guys see like my little thumbnails?
We can indeed.
Yep.
All right, cool. So what I'll do is I'll just run my pictures like a slideshow so you don't have to look at me talk. And if I can get it to do what I want it to do. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. The bar for the
Oh, for
I
Zoom is
think,
in
I
your
think
yeah,
you
way?
the
can,
Zoom
I think
bar
you
is
can
over the
move
top
it.
of my picture, so I'm can't find the thing to make it do a slideshow. How do I make that small? Or how do I move that?
If you go under your screen, under that top part, there should be view options. And you can make that Zoom part disappear.
Let's see.
You see where it says Zoom options or view options?
View options at the top.
Yeah, very top, near
View
the
tab.
center. Right past where it says you are screen
Check
sharing.
sort and view.
Go straight up now with
Okay.
your arrow.
Then I have, yeah, I don't see that at all. It just says you are screen sharing or stop share.
Okay, yours is different.
Yeah. So
She
doggone it.
has the full one at the top, you know, with
Yeah.
all the, because it changes once you go into screen share mode.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
I have a
see.
way of turning that off.
Hide video panel.
Yeah, that would probably be try that.
It didn't do anything.
Okay.
Well, shoot.
Um,
Hang on.
Go to
All right. Well, there we go.
there we go.
Woohoo.
there it goes.
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about how to photograph holiday lights, and it's more like do as I say and not as I do, because I don't necessarily follow everything here. You know, I still cheat and shoot an aperture priority, but anyway, for essential equipment, of course, you're going to need your camera. So DSLR or mirrorless, you know, you should be shooting in manual mode, so you need to be able to adjust your ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. And you need a camera that will use interchangeable lenses. So most of us have a camera that fits in that category. For lenses, you can do fine with a decent walk-around lens. I use my 28 to 300 millimeter more often than not. You can also bring along a wide angle lens and or a macro lens to get shots that are more creative and the less commonly seen types of photos. And then a tripod's an absolute must to ensure sharper images and stabilize your camera and to achieve successful long exposures. So when your camera is on the tripod, you need to turn off your vibration reduction, or that can actually introduce camera shake when you're trying to do a long exposure. So you should use a remote shutter release, or like me, I can never find my remote shutter release when I need it. I don't know where I put it, so I use my 2-second timer a lot. And then you should shoot RAW. And then for your manual settings, your ISO should be as low as possible. Start out with your whatever your native ISO is in your camera. And I probably wouldn't, it's not as much of an issue as it used to be, but I still try to keep it 400 or less. For the aperture, choose the aperture at which your lens is at its sharpest, which is usually around an f6.3 to an f8. But if you want more bokeh and less depth of field, then you're going to use a wider aperture, which is the smaller number. If you want everything sharp, or you want the little starburst effect, You should use a smaller aperture, which is a larger number, such as an f/16 or f/22. And then typically you will be taking long exposures. Your shutter speed is going to depend on the available light and the aperture and ISO you're using. Typically an exposure of 2 to 3 seconds will be plenty. You know, you can go as long as 8 to 10. You can get away with as little as 1 second. You just kind of play around with it and experiment until you start finding the shots that work for you. So take a few test shots, you know, with digital cameras, you know, the shots are free. It's not like you're burning up film. So adjust your ISO for brightness, but it shouldn't be your first option. You start with like I said, the native ISO, and then if it's dark, go up a notch. But before going higher than 400, explore other options like a slower shutter speed to let in more light, or the widest aperture that you can get away with. It's all a balancing act. I would say not to use the auto white balance because then your pictures are going to be all over the place, and you'll have to, in post, you'll have to adjust every picture. You know, because it could be, you know, anywhere with the auto white balance. So I usually switch to daylight, or you can try tungsten, which will allow you to color correct lighting, and it removes that yellowish or greenish cast. And then you can apply corrective warmth in post to get a more balanced image. Metering modes. You should use the matrix metering for Nikon, or evaluative metering for Canon, or whatever the equivalent is for your camera brand. And these modes read the overall scene to make it the best choice for the optimal exposure. And if you're photographing blinking lights, use a longer shutter speed. You know, if the lights are blinking, you're only going to get part of the lights if your shutter speed is too short. And some of the lights flicker, so then you're going to have uneven lighting. So the longer exposure will, you'll get more even lighting among all the lights. And the only time you should ever use an external flash is to provide fill light for a different main subject, or for portraits where the holiday lights serve as the background. And we had gone down to Milwaukee one time, and I took pictures of the bronze fawns with the lights behind them. But the bronze fawns was in darkness, so I had a little flashlight, and I actually did some light painting so I could get the detail of the statue and still have all the lights look nice in the background. And then you should get creative. Couple years or so ago, we did a program with our tabletop photography night where Jane taught us how to do custom shaped bokeh circles by making little stencils. And I imagine that information is still on our webpage somewhere if we look back through some old issues of our newsletter. But you know, that's an alternative, so you can get little star-shaped bokeh or heart-shaped, whatever you want. Some scenes may be more striking in black and white, and so don't forget to shoot in black and white every now and then. You can shoot 2 exposures to extend your tonal range, and then use Photoshop or Lightroom and combine the pictures as HDR, or if you have like a special program for that, you can use that. Vary your angles. Don't shoot everything with your camera at eye level. Start getting low or shooting from up high. Look for puddles where you can get really cool reflections, or bring a water bottle and create your own puddles to make reflections. Next thing is picking your locations. Finding a good spot is essential to your composition. You know, basically knowing where to stand when you're taking your photograph. You can shoot big outdoor venues and holiday displays, and those give you plenty of options. So look for the unique stuff. And some scenes may look best as a whole, and others might be better as a vignette or singling out just an element of that scene. And if you're going to be shooting indoors, try to find a spot that gives you enough ambient light and allows you to incorporate holiday elements. And I'm starting to get scratchy throat here. Do your research before you go. Have an idea what shots mean the most to you, and try to be at that location at the blue hour, because you'll get the more beautiful blue lighting and the lights stand out better at that point, you know, instead of having just dead black sky in the background. Research photos on Flickr, Instagram, 500px for angles, for locations, for creative ideas. Just kind of give you a stepping off point. And then, you know, we're going to be photographing window displays. So you should use a medium zoom lens, use your tripod, spend some time really looking at the displays, look at the colors, the placement of the items, poses of mannequins, that sort of thing, what makes the window stand out, and you know, what are the most interesting displays, and try to find those to photograph. Minimize your reflections by putting your lens against the glass, or cushioning it with like a black t-shirt or something, and then just shooting through the middle. Photographing signs, try working from a high level, stand on a bench, so that you're not just looking up at a sign from ground level where, you know, everybody sees that view. And fill the frame, put things into context by showing some of the street or the shop. You know, you don't have to just photograph what's in the window. You can photograph reflections of the scenery in the window. And I think that's the end of my program.
Oh, very well done. A lot of great information. So
I worked hard on that.
do you have notes you can send?
Yeah, I'll type it up. Right now it's handwritten, but I'll put something together. I just didn't have time to.
Very well done, Patty. Thank you so much.
All right, you're very
All right.
welcome.
And most of those photos were taken in downtown Cedarburg and downtown Milwaukee.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so.
You know what to expect if you come over to Cedarburg.
Yep.
This weekend. All
and we
right.
have a new attraction in Cedarburg, the Cookie House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always something new downtown. All right, we have two individuals doing show and tell this evening. I think Peter Chow and Bernard Hull. Which one of you would like to go next?
Oh, man, I can go.
All right. Take it away and share screen, and love to see your pictures.
Okay. Okay, as we get towards the end of the year, it's almost natural to ask ourselves, have we gotten better as photographers? Because we can take any picture out of our camera and then almost immediately come up with ideas on what we can do to make it better. It's not the same cat. But what if we're getting worse? What if we have a bad picture and try to do some post-processing and it comes out worse? Sometimes it almost looks like we could get a better shot with a Polaroid camera. Because we all have a list of old cameras that we've gone through the years. But has anybody ever done anything with a Polaroid camera?
Not recently.
As a disclaimer, The pictures that I'm going to show were not taken with a Polaroid, but were taken with a digital and done post-processing to make it look like a Polaroid. Because if we just take a regular picture, turn it into black and white and put a frame on it, well, that really doesn't work too good to make it an authentic Polaroid. And to make a Polaroid, we almost have to go through just as much to make a good picture look better as we do to make a bad picture look worse. Because we're still doing color balance, the channel mixer, filtering, masking, cropping, not on all the pictures, but a combination of all of these. And then we wind up with something that looks, well, pretty bad. But if we take a picture and you can start out with just putting a frame around it or finding a frame of a Polaroid and doing some masking with it and see if it turns out, because all the Polaroids that we have seen, a lot of them have washed out skies, are not composed real well, and just don't have a lot of contrast with them. And we can also add like a sepia tone to them, and a lot of Polaroids that some people have had where you take a felt pen and write where it came from and when you took it, and you have to find a font that will look like a pen that you would write with and not just use like a Comic Sans or something like that, and then just kind of fade that because the frame of a Polaroid is sometimes inconsistent. Now, sometimes if we have a really bad picture, like the ones that would have been taken like in the 70s or so, that it's easy just to crop that and put it in there because it's got the bad lighting on one side and blurry on the other. And if we remember from some Polaroids that you had some lacquer that you would roll over the top of it, and that would also leave a streak that would add to authenticness of it. And when you're doing your color hues and the brightness, that you have to do it in layers, because if you did it all as one, then you would also be adjusting the frame and not getting the picture that would have everybody looking every which way, trying to get out of the picture, not looking at the camera like they do with the family gatherings. And even if you have color photos, that the Polaroids that from the 70s would also look like they have faded, that you have to do research on what makes a color photo from the 70s look all washed out, and a lot of times it loses the blues and the yellows before all the other colors. And also when you're putting this together, that even in the frame you can refine the edges to make it look more textured and more three-dimensional, because we know that the Polaroid pictures aren't always flat. And now even like a picture like this, that to make the lighting look bad, which would come out of a Polaroid, that you would do like a gradient tool and add like a lens flare or something like that. And I've seen even where you would say do painting over a part of it to make it look like with the uneven lighting of it. And that's what I have on how to make pictures look like they came from Polaroids.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. That was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, I'm next, I guess. All right, I'm gonna screen share. Share desktop. So I have two groups of pictures. Basically, the McGuanago hot air balloon event in July of this year. And then I have something at the lakefront in June. So, yeah. Here, this is in McGuanago. I think it was on a Sunday. And so these guys are ready to launch. They've inflated the balloons and they're ready to take off. Let's see what I'm doing here. Here. Yes, every time. Okay. Here's when they're heating up the balloons, and photographer is taking some close-up shots. Here is as the night falls, some people standing around watching them inflate the balloon. So yeah, that's that picture there. I guess I could have turned down the highlights, but maybe I did already. I mean, the flames are actually pretty hot. So it may be not much to, well, I don't know how much you can turn it down, but anyways. That's one thing I should look out for if I haven't done it so far. Yeah, this is the night glow. As night falls, this is where in the evening, they don't launch. They're I don't know if they're tethered or they just sit on the ground. Well, they're probably tethered. And these people take turns lighting up their balloons. And so, you know, I caught most of them at some point. And so that was, I was with a group of people that actually in a Facebook group. So we went out there to take pictures there at the McGuanago. Here's one guy lighting up the night glow. And so those are the night glow, the McGuanago hot air balloon pictures that I have. This is at the Milwaukee lakefront, roughly 5 o'clock in the morning. It's June of this year. And this is at South Shore Park. It was kind of not really a stormy day, but it had the lightning and thunder was going to be pretty much over with as morning was rising. So we're, you know, obviously facing east at South Shore Park. There's a few lights from the downtown here on the left and the boats on the right. Some cloud cover. And let's go to the next picture. Here we have lightning strike on the right side. So it's the same picture except as a lightning strike. It was kind of hard to catch lightning strikes, and I wasn't really posed for it. I mean, I didn't have the right settings, or not settings, but just the right timing. That was actually my best lightning strike picture, which isn't saying much, but at least I got something. Here we go. This is later in the morning. This looks like the lake is on fire, but it isn't. What it is, it's sunrise. And there's a cloud, the clouds is over the horizon, but it's sort of clearing up out in the distance. And so that's why you see these, you see kind of a reddish thing, and it looks like the water's on fire back there. But same place, South Shore Park. May have zoomed in on this one. Here's a wider picture. This is with my Nikon Z lens, Z6, or my Nikon Z6 camera with a wide, ultra wide lens, zoom lens. Here you have the rain on the left and some clearance, not really clearing, but it's brighter on the right. You can see the sunrise is trying to break through those little clouds in the center there. This is this was taken later in the day. Well, I'd say about an hour later, half an hour later, up by the Jones, facility, Jones Island. And I enhanced it a little bit to bring out the contrast in the clouds, but we have, you see the cloud, thing there. And this is the last picture. This is by Harley Davidson Museum on the east side. And so had some clouds shown there. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Peter, on your lightning picture, were you using a neutral density filter?
I hardly ever use any neutral density filters. So this is what is this thing? Let me take a look. I want to see how long ISO 100. This was a manual lens, I think, because it has no f-stop. 6 seconds. Yeah, this one I think I used a manual lens. And I don't remember what lens it was. So that's not telling you much, other than it has 6 seconds on it.
There's some angry looking clouds, I'll say that.
I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I think one of them I took with the Nikon lens. This is not the Nikon lens. This was something else. Yeah, I forgot what it was. It was a lens I bought for really cheap.
All right.
But it worked.
On your shots with the balloons, I took a bunch of shots this last year, and getting the ones with the flames, the contrast is so extreme on that, it's difficult to do.
Yeah, it's probably hard to turn down the highlights. I probably did that on this, but I can't remember. So it could have been more blown out before. So this is reasonable. Anything else? Okay.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Last month, I was due to show the fall slideshow. So I'm going to take about 8 minutes to show both the fall and the All Creatures Great and Small before we go to the program presented by Jane. I'll go to screen share here.
Joe, do you have music with these?
I do.
What music do you have?
That came with the program. The program that I'm using is called Movavi, and it comes with its own music that is
Okay.
able to be used.
That will
So-
probably be okay then. Great.
There
I just
should-
don't want to strike on my YouTube channel, so.
I understand. I'm trying to share a screen and I'm getting, here we go. And you're in the way. So let's do the fall first.
Joe, move your cursor out of the way.
All right. I think we had a few participants there. I appreciate your input on that. The next one here is are all creatures great and small? that's it. Whoop. Sorry, guys. That's it. Anyway, that's the two shows that we have. Can't wait to get the ones for the holidays. Keep in mind, it's not only Christmas, there's other holidays around. We can use those as well. All right, I think the next event here would be Jane. Are you ready for the favorite images?
Maybe before we do that, Joe,
All right.
could we just do the group photo while we got
sure.
everybody here yet?
Okay.
So if everybody that has your screens turned off, turn your screens on. And so to make sure you're all straight into the
Right.
camera. Only one we're missing is Peter, it looks like. Peter, you out there? We're sneaking up on you. I got a shot of him. Here he is. Good. All right, everybody look straight ahead. Hold it. Once more. Hold it. Great.
Yeah, sorry, I heard my name. I was actually on the ham radio. So I'm gonna go back to my ham radio net.
Yep. Now you can go to your next thing. Thanks. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see what we come up with.
Where's the
Bernard
cookies?
actually gave me an idea, so I'm going to be working on that after his show gave me some thoughts on trying something different. So thanks, Bernard. All right, Jane, go for it.
Okay.
Make sure when you screen share that you hit the sound. There's a little check mark at the bottom to hit sound. Otherwise, what we do is we get it through your microphone speaker, and it's not as good.
Sorry about that. Pro show. That's some really nice photos, folks. Jeff, you have anything else we want to cover tonight?
No, just that if anybody does do slideshows or video shows, please use music that is not copyrighted. Finding the simplest spots to get it is from YouTube. Open up a YouTube account and you've got tons of music there that you can download that will play on YouTube just fine.
Yep.
But other than that, I'll work on a video for people screen sharing.
Excuse me, Jeff. So in YouTube, where do you go to find that music?
You go into your YouTube dashboard
Yeah.
for uploading videos, and near the bottom is audio. What was it, Ken? Audio something. And there are thousands and thousands of songs there that are free to
Okay.
use.
Okay, that'll get me there. Thank you.
Yeah. Really works out nice. I just don't want to get a copyright strike. One of these days, maybe the club will need to get their own YouTube channel. That way I don't have to worry about getting a strike, because 3 strikes and you're kicked off of YouTube.
Wow.
Would not want to get that. We haven't gotten any so far. We have a couple of problems, but since we don't monetize the channel, it doesn't make much difference.
Jeff, I think it's called Audio Library.
Yeah, audio library.
There's about
I can't look because
1,500 songs.
yeah, because I've got YouTube playing and I can't switch over to it. But
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything on the program this evening, unless anybody wants to have a general conversation with questions. We've got 10 to 15 minutes here to go.
Just say thanks.
Anybody
to
have
Jane
anything
for
they
put-
want to bring up?
Just to say thanks to Jane for putting the slideshow together.
Yes. Well done, Jane.
nice
once
job.
again.
Was it jerky?
No, it was very smooth. I
No, it was
impressed.
nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really good. Jane, did you get a number of, I know I was one of the late ones that took advantage of the extension. Did a bunch of other people take it?
Yes.
Like
Okay,
a
so I
week
wasn't
ago.
the solo idiot.
Well, that's okay, because there was time, because this meeting isn't until the 7th,
Right.
and like the 2nd of December,
It-
that wouldn't have worked.
It just totally slipped my mind. So, God, too many other things. So,
Jane
Well, good.
came knocking on my door, basically.
That does bring up a question on the newsletter. We now have a calendar within the newsletter. And I would say if we have things that we have deadlines that we really need to follow, let's send them to Ellen and have those put into that newsletter. That would help us out immensely, I believe. And then, because all
Joe,
of
I
us
can also tell
Go
you that
ahead.
we have that same calendar on the website too now.
Okay, great. So we've got one, so I'd say let's try to use it if we can.
yeah,
Take
this
advantage
mine's
of
a work in progress. So, yeah,
Yeah.
as things come up and as we need them. So, and I
You
can
see-
make it interactive too.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate, that's one more thing to do. Okay. But I can put links to other stuff also. If I
Well-
don't get too crazy with the links. So,
Yeah, and if people share it with me, here's the calendar on the website.
Okay.
okay.
It falls under meeting information. And then if you hover over it, it shows the time. And if you click on it, it actually takes you to the meeting information for the.
Ah, very helpful.
So after seeing Ellen's and then Marty from PSA chapter started doing this on the PSA website, I've found out how to do it, and I'll certainly start putting more things in too, but it's,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. And I'll still keep learning more about links.
Anyone have any questions they would like to raise with the group? Feel free to do so.
Who's coming to the Christmas lights on Saturday?
I should be there. Anyone
Come
else?
on, come on. We need a few more hands.
I fly in from Missouri, sorry. I'd like to go.
I work till 6, so I'm sorry I cannot make it out to Cedarburg.
You don't work in Cedarburg?
I work in Glendale.
Okay.
Till 6, like 6:15.
Well, if you're shooting holiday lights, you can come any night in downtown Cedarburg. They're up through the holidays. So even though you might not be with us, you can still get some great pictures.
I'll be with you in spirit.
All right.
Good.
I do have a question, and I don't want to take up anyone's time, but can I contact someone after the meeting about getting a camera, a better camera than what I have? If someone could help me pick something out.
Yeah, hang on to the very end, and we'll see what we can do to help you at the very end of the meeting here when everybody else leaves the group. Do you know what kind of camera
Otherwise, you
you're
can
actually
certainly
looking for?
contact me.
Yeah.
If you get a hold of me, I can help you with a camera.
Thank you.
Probably have about a dozen used one too, don't you, Jeff?
Not too many, really.
All right.
I got a lot of film cameras.
They seem to be coming back.
Yeah. Getting harder to process them, though.
Yeah.
Boy, everybody's quiet tonight.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
surprising.
You know, maybe because there's no cookies.
No, it's because I was I muted myself.
I
Jeff.
have been kicked off twice in the last 4 minutes, so I don't know what's happened. Maybe the Wi-Fi is a little bad here or something. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But I keep having to rejoin the meeting in progress.
Ah.
This has nothing to do with the camera, but Clinton, do you work at a restaurant? Because I'm looking at all the tables back there.
Yeah, no, that's on Mackinac Island.
Oh.
Not on Mackinac
Oh,
Island.
that
as
here,
we
that's
speak.
okay.
He's between shifts right now.
But you're losing money.
It's typically temporary close for the season, so I got it until next week and next May.
Well, Joe, if you think.
I think we're pretty well wrapped up.
Oh.
If nobody has any questions.
I'll just throw this out. I bought one of these for myself and for my dad for Christmas. It's a digital picture frame. Costco's selling them right now. It's by a company called Aura. I actually bought one last year for my in-laws. I bought a different model than the one Costco's selling. But this one's a little bit cheaper. It's not as high as resolution as one I got my.
Yeah, and you're
in-laws,
coming
but
in a
it's-
little quiet. I don't know if your microphone got
you hear me now?
shifted.
Yeah,
No,
can't hear
actually,
you.
it got worse.
Was that Ian talking?
Any better?
Lot better.
Yeah.
Better.
Go ahead.
Okay. For some reason, my headphones sometimes end up weird. So, anyways, I bought that picture. It's a picture frame, digital picture frame from Costco by the company called Aura. Last year, I bought one for my in-laws, a slightly different model. But this one, Costco, I think it's a $140 digital picture frame. It's about 10 inches. It's nice. I end up buying two because I got my dad one for Christmas, and then I end up getting myself one to throw on my desk. And the nice part is they have unlimited photo uploads, and you can actually invite other people to upload photos to it. So like my in-laws one that we bought last year, I also gave access to my brother-in-law, and they just had a baby. So we basically just upload photos of my daughter to that. So my mother and father-in-law can see pictures, and then my brother-in-law can now do the same thing with his kid, and then they just randomly rotate through the frame. The frame's got this crazy good AI cropping ability. So if you upload photos that don't fit, by default, it will try to crop it the best it can, and it does a really good job to the point where I mentioned I bought one for myself, and it was initially cropping the photos, my own photos, flower photos, its own way, and I may have found some new ways to crop my own photos because I liked how it was cropping my own photos to make them fit like a 10:8 aspect ratio, or a 10:8 aspect ratio. I think it was 8:10.
Okay.
So, anyways, just throwing it out there. If people are looking for digital picture frames,
What was the
it's
brand
good.
name of it?
Aura,
Or
AURA. Aura.
okay.
What's the
Does
price
that-
range on them?
This one, like I said, this one's about $140. I'd say that's probably their lower
Okay.
price range one. The one I got my in-laws is technically a 2K screen, so it's even higher, and it's only a 9-inch, so it's really dense. Like it looks like a print almost. That one. This one looks very good though. I would not. It's sitting, I don't know, a little over an arm's reach away from me, and it's not like I can see pixels or anything like that. And they automatically turn off. So as soon as I turn off my lights in my living room and everything, that's where my desk is. As soon as I turn off all the lights, it shuts entirely off, and it automatically comes back on when the lights come back on. And then I just have it rotate through my photos.
Hey,
Does
Ian,
that-
please say a little more about how you source the photos, how they get into that.
Yeah, so they have their own app called Aura. You download it. It's on Android. It's on Apple. There is also a web uploader, and you just go into the app and drag and drop your photos or select them off your phone
Okay.
through the app, and it's unlimited. They host them, so that's really nice too.
So that's kind of like a cloud base.
It's a cloud base. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Ian,
no
how do you-
SD card. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to know how you like your new MacBook.
Absolutely love it. It's so
Okay.
fast. So fast.
Okay. You got the 16-inch one, correct?
I got pretty much everything. I got the 16-inch M1 Max with 64 gigs of RAM. So the only thing I could have upgraded more was the storage. I got 2 terabytes, which was a jump itself, but you can technically get up to 8. I think it's another $1,500 to do that.
Yeah,
2
okay.
terabytes was all I was going for. But the screen is amazing. The screen
I
is
would
beautiful.
also like to remind the board that we need to have a meeting so that we can consider the January through July agenda. We have a few empty spots that we need to fill for our meetings that are coming up. So
Field trips, all that stuff.
yeah, Jeff, I'm gonna just put that out there now. I will also send emails to the group, but I guess I can't, knowing how fast deadlines come up, I can't say it enough. So yeah, we'll have to kind of get together before the next meeting, I'm thinking. What you doing New Year's Eve? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we got March covered, but yeah.
His February's a little sparse, and then yeah, I get that. But we need show and tells. We need places to go, things to see. So
Yep. So everybody send ideas to
yes, please.
Joe or Ellen or myself.
I just threw in the
We
chat a
will.
link to that frame that I mentioned. So in case anybody's
Thank you.
curious, it's to Costco. it's $140 full price because it'll only show you the price if you log in as a member. But
Oh, okay.
Great.
Do you
All right,
always,
so
otherwise
yeah.
Amazon sells Aura frames too if you're not a Costco member. So.
All right.
Send your ideas.
do you always need internet access to show your pictures?
That's a good question. I don't know. My internet hasn't gone out since I uploaded them, so I don't know. I'm guessing it downloads some of them, but it's probably constantly over time pulling them down because it's unlimited. So I don't know how much storage is in that thing.
And then you can show those same pictures, or I should say, share those pictures with other family members with some sort of account or something like that.
When you set up the account, or even now, like I could invite my dad if I wanted to have access to it, and then he could upload photos to my frame if he wanted. Or if he had a frame, like his frame, for example, I'm actually going to set it. They let you actually set it up ahead of time. On the box, there's a little QR code. You take the plastic off, you peel back a label, and there's a QR code, so you can actually set it up as a gift before you give it to them. So it's already preloaded, or the account's preloaded with the photos. So all they do is go home, open up the app that they download on their phone. It's got a little code that tells it real quick. And then it automatically starts downloading the images that I already set up for him. And now I've got access to it already to start sending him photos. It's pretty slick. It's well done. I'm really impressed with it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's called another big boy toy.
When the Costco get groceries, I came out with 2 digital frames. Comes in black and it comes in white, by the way.
I think we're all guilty of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do for
Costco.
And by the way, I may have a used Mac Mini for sale if anyone is interested after I get this new computer set up.
It's nice to have a backup computer though, or a couple.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Is it a new Mac Mini or an old Mac Mini?
It's about 8 or 9 years old.
Ah. That's
real
pretty much
bargain.
I have one of those sitting right next to me. I have to rip it open and get to the hard drive so I can erase it. This thing's really old. This has got to be almost.
This one's been limping along a little bit, but that's the way it is.
You got your money's worth out of it.
Oh, I have 2 old laptops along with the one I'm using right now for the Zoom meeting. And during the mornings, all 3 are in use, transferring photos and scanning documents and everything.
Here's my stack of hard drives to go through and format. These are in my closet, and we were cleaning. I was like, oh yeah, I still have to erase those from like two generations ago of backups.
I have 5 of those right now, along with 4 SSD drives that I'm copying stuff onto.
I tried to trade it in with Apple, and they gave me a 0 value, but would be willing to take it back and recycle it.
I have a question. What makes the Zoom background? Why do you fade in and out at times? I'm having a lot of trouble tonight.
Probably the speed.
Have any ideas on that?
Yeah, it's because you don't have a simple background that Zoom is working off of to try to figure out what to eliminate and what not to eliminate. It does a pretty good job of trying to guess, but to be honest, I hate Zoom backgrounds, the fake backgrounds, because it takes up a lot of computer power. But and because I hate seeing people's hands disappear.
Yeah.
But it's the real way to do it is to have a green screen behind you, and then it works a lot better. But just think what it has to do. It has to figure out what the person is in the picture and cut them out and then put the picture that you've got in place.
It's got to
And
do
it's-
that however many times per second
Yeah, 30 times per second.
while you're moving.
Yeah, it's
Don't
doing
move.
an amazing job, but it not something I technically recommend to people. That's why you see my background as a bookshelf.
Yeah.
But
Patty, you have a question?
No,
Your hand's up. I just wondered.
no, I was rubbing my eye.
No, you're
My eye
Okay.
itched.
Well, I think it was a
But-
pretty good meeting tonight, or I should say a great meeting.
Yeah, we covered a lot of territory.
Yep.
So I think that's about it on this end, and unless we want to keep on going, up to you, Jeff.
Whenever you want to call it.
Yeah, let's
I'm-
call it.
I'm happy to
Call it.
See you next year. Yeah.
Don't
I know
forget,
see you at
Don't-
Cedarburg.
Yeah,
don't
Merry
forget the
Christmas,
lady
all.
who wants to talk about cameras.
Yeah, where is she?
Right here.
She's still hanging out.
Exactly, who is that again?
Miriam.
Okay.
Just
What type
here,
of,
give it, Joe, before you do anything, just
Yeah,
give
go
me,
ahead.
I need 2 seconds of silence, please.
All right.